welcome to Indie Band Guru Knowledge to Get Known interview series. I mean, we've really just got this going again, and we're very excited about it. And, what we hope to do here is expose, some of those great musicians around the world and give them the platform to speak about themselves and get into their mind and see what makes them tick. Today, we go all the way to Sweden. We have Jon Magnusson. And you know what? Let me just let you introduce yourself, Jon.
Yeah, thank you very much, Keith. My name is, in English it's Jon Magnusson, and in Swedish it's Jon Magnusson. But I usually go for the English pronunciation because not a lot of people know Swedish. Anyhow, I'm a musician, and I've been a part of the independent music scene for about a year. And since I started taking part of it, I had such a great development, and I met so many great people, you included, of course. Yeah, what should I say about myself? I just had a kid 3 weeks ago, so a lot of time goes to taking care of her, and that's fantastic because here in Sweden you can, as a dad, you can be away from work for at least 2 weeks, and I'm going to be away for 6 weeks in total. So that's awesome. So I also have quite a lot of time to work on my music stuff because I can take care of her at the same time. So it's perfect.
It's a beautiful time in life, let me tell you. I have 2 little girls myself, so I can relate. But the youngest one's 4 already. It goes pretty fast. I'll just warn you of that.
Yeah.
But as far as your music, like you said, you've only been really diving in about a year now.
Yeah.
Describe your unique sound for me.
That would be kind of hard because I try to do really different kinds of stuff. Like my latest EP started with a jazzy folk instrumental song that is a cover of a traditional Swedish folk song. And then I had one more emotional, like indie pop song, and some more punky indie rock stuff. And my latest song was a hip hop song with a Brazilian rapper. So it's kind of hard to say I'm looking for a specific sound. It's more like a tone or a feeling I like to provide with my music.
That's what I personally love so much about independent music is we could experiment. We could go any direction we want without some big major label saying, no, you have to put out those pop hits one after another. So
yeah,
this is what we look for. But as far as your influences, what musical influences or even life influences have driven you to create music?
I would say musically, the British music scene has been really important for me. Like I would say the Clash is maybe my favorite band of all time. And they are also really eclectic. Like they started as a punk band and did reggae and dub and rockabilly and like really crazy stuff. And also like the new wave bands like the Jam and Buzzcocks. And also I'm a big fan of folk music, so like Simon and Garfunkel and Paul Simon. His solo stuff is also amazing. And also one really big inspiration, especially when it comes to lyrics, is Leonard Cohen.
Yeah, he was well known for his lyrics. How he could come up with those words out of his mind is always amazed me. But as far as like you say, you go a lot of different directions musically. What is your songwriting process? What sparks a song, and what leads you down to getting a complete song together?
It usually starts with like an idea. Actually, the latest 2 songs I wrote was on my way to work in the car. So I started to always record stuff that comes up in my head as soon as I have the chance, because I have had so many ideas that I got lost because I didn't think of writing them down or recording them. But usually I get like a melody line or a lyrics line in my head that, this should work for a song, and then I write the rest of the song around that. that line or that melody, like building choruses and verses and bridges and hooks and everything. Like if, I don't know, it's like you're building a house. Like I start with the foundation, that is the, but maybe I don't start with the foundation. I start with the walls, and then I build everything around it.
Yeah, as long as we get to the complete product, that's
Yeah,
exactly what we're all looking for. So, what's speaking of your latest single, which one was that?
that was actually Pensamientos Relevantes. That means relevant thoughts in English. And that was together with a Brazilian rapper, Bruno Smokey, who's actually married to a cousin of my wife. So that's how I know him. And he had the lyrics and a simple beat. And then I started playing guitar to that beat, and we made a new beat from that, and he came with some ideas, so we made a song together, and yeah, we made it in like half a day.
Yeah, I heard the song. It's very interesting to say the least. I like how it all comes together, and like you said, it comes from a lot of different angles, but it all works. It blends perfectly together.
Yeah,
As and as far as your music, I mean, by creating music, what do you hope to um, bring out of people with your music? Like, how do you hope to reach them with your music?
like I want to inspire people to be creative themselves and to think for themselves. Like I have quite strong beliefs, political beliefs myself, but I don't want to impose them on anyone. That's why I don't write that you should vote for this party or anything like that. That's not what I'm doing this because I think it's really important with pluralism, that people have different ideas that bounce against each other. So that's why I choose to not write too much political stuff. Instead, I want to bring people to think for themselves and interpret my lyrics in any way they can themselves. Like some of them are more abstract, and some of them are more concrete. Uh, and also, like, the community building is so important for me, like bringing people together, artists and people like you who promotes independent music, and to really get people talking with each other, because the polarization of today's society is the biggest threat, in my opinion.
Right. Well, that's, to bring that in for a moment. We really found each other through the monster thread that you started up. It's kind of
Yeah.
taken off and been a mind of its own. Tell everybody about that for a little bit.
Yeah, that was actually an experiment of mine. I started tagging people that I thought should get to know each other. I don't remember if we already been in touch before. Like, it's impossible to keep track how you get to know people. But it was like a thread with 50 people involved, and I had like 1,000 notifications in one day. So I thought that this won't work in the long term. So I started the Facebook group, and later on we started with Spotify playlists. And a few months ago, I felt like this is too overwhelming. I can't keep up with all the stuff happening. So Toby Davis from Luxembourg started helping me. So now we run it together.
Yeah, I mean, right from the start, I guess you kind of picked the right people because they were all very community driven, very helpful for each other. And the support, just seeing that in the independent music scene, it, puts a
Yeah.
smile on my face, because that's why I do what I do. It's, support the scene. And when you see people working together, you get a lot further in general.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like a friend of mine told me, I saw in the thread in the Facebook group the other day that they booked a gig together in Leeds, in the UK, and also with another girl. They were playing live in London, and it's it's actually quite unbelievable when I think about it.
Yeah, that's what it is. Working together will achieve, great things. So
Yeah.
on that note, what advice would you have for other artists that are out there struggling, trying to make music for their own and get it out there? What would you tell them?
Build relationships. That's everything, and like be a nice person. Not trying to. It's okay to promote yourself, but you have to promote others as well. Like it's okay to say, hey, you want to check out my new single on Spotify or Bandcamp. But if you send 10 links every day in different groups, then you're only going to annoy people. So, yeah, get to know other artists, radio people, and show gratitude. Like if a radio station plays my music, I always write about it in my blog. I tweet about it. I write it on Facebook. Even though it's impossible to keep up and listen to every show that plays you, you have to show appreciation of the work people actually do for you as well.
Right. That's myself as well. I'm a big believer in relationships, and that's what's
Yeah,
going to help the new music industry. Because, like I mentioned before, those big labels aren't just going to take you under the wing and do it all
no,
for you. Now you're going to have to do it for yourself, and that's what makes it fun in a way. And
yeah,
creating those relationships and meeting new people, and like you said, touring with new people and making songs. That's what music should be all about. You know,
yeah. I actually has quite a funny anecdote how I got to this point at all. I think you're also friends with D. Grant Smith.
yes, yes, love D. Grant.
Uh, it actually was like I did, like everyone did before. I sent out blank emails with listen to my song, and I had a list of 50 email addresses, and I sent the same email to all of them, and one of them was actually D Grant, and he answered me and like, hey man, you can't do this. Check out my philosophy, and I started following him, and it was like in October 2016. Uh, I couldn't sleep, and I got an email from his mailing list. The first two persons who answer this email will get a free copy of my book. And so I was really fast, and I got a copy of his book. And since then, I've been in contact with him a lot. So that was really a game changer for me.
Yeah, he's the master of growth farming, he calls it, of
Yeah,
taking relationships to, expand and keep growing. And, done great for him and for a lot of the people
yeah,
that follow him. And as
yeah.
far as you, what's next for you? What do you see in the future for your music career?
I actually been recording my EP with a producer here in Stockholm, and I spent a lot of time and money with that one, and the result is amazing. Like me and the producer, we really click. So he mixed two songs this week, and the last two songs is going to be ready next week. So I will probably release it in like a month or so. And also I'm working on an acoustic EP. I made a little holiday challenge before my baby was born. And it's an acoustic EP with 2 originals and 3 covers that I'm making together with Toby, the same guy who runs Monster Thread with me. So that's actually quite fun. He's one of the best friends I made in the scene, and I don't even know how he looks because he only has a picture of his dog Enzo on his profile.
That's the beauty of the internet is, we don't even need to see each other anymore. We can still make
No.
beautiful things happen. So,
Yeah.
we're on our way, and it just keeps growing. And, but with people like you, and, hopefully I'm one of those people as well that can just keep this independent scene growing to where it should be. And
Yeah.
the majors will be no more. That's kind of my goal. But I
Yeah.
just wanted to really thank you for sitting down with me today, Jon. It was
Yeah, it was great.
great, thoughtful, and to get into your mind and to see, especially preaching the same thing about relationship building. you know, that seems to be what's working. So hopefully we can get others on board and follow in our footsteps. So
Definitely. It was an honor.
thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, take care.
I'm looking forward to the new music.